How are you feeling? How long have you been here?
3 months, May 17th.
And what brought you?
That's difficult to answer.
Eventually resulted in your being here in the hospital.
That's difficult to answer.
this the end? There's a noise inside my head of crying people facing death. Is this the end? Is this the end? I'm burning in the dystopia. There's no place to hide. I'm burning in the dystopia. This is the final time. What have we done to the world? What have we done to the world? I'm burning in the dystopia. There's no place to hide. I'm burning in the dystopia. This is the final
What up, guys? It's been so long since we've been together on this channel. It's been so long since the last stream. Welcome back. But now, listen, if you hung around for the drama stream and you're like, why does Karlyn do all this drama? Well, guess what? Guess what? Guess what? The thing that I've been doing more than anything lately is spy streaming. Because the left is extremely organized right now. The left is having meeting after meeting after meeting. There are so many leftist meetings right now that are happening. It is almost impossible to keep up with all the leftist organizing meetings that are happening. We did a spy stream earlier today. We did a spy stream on Monday. We did a spy stream on Tuesday. We did not do a spy stream yesterday for once. We did a spy stream earlier today. We're doing a spy stream tomorrow afternoon. We're doing another spy stream on Monday. It is a never-ending slog. There's still so many clips I have of our spy streams that I haven't even released half of the things I have, not even a quarter of the things I have, because that's how many spy streams we've been doing. It's like we get done one spy stream, we go right into the next. Hey, Tayton. It's been years. Years. Good to see you. So I decided, because of the nature of the organizing call we're doing tonight, I thought it would be safe to do a public spy stream, because this is one of those calls where there are a ton of people. There will literally be thousands of leftist activists on this call tonight. So I'm going to stream it publicly. I almost never do spy streams publicly anymore because it makes it more difficult, honestly. I keep them as a supporter exclusive perk for supporters on my Substack, my locals, my Patreon, my YouTube channel members, and my Twitter subscribers. And I want to thank everyone who does support the work I'm doing and does go to the supporter-only streams. But every once in a while, when I'm able to, I like to do a public spy stream just to bring people in and give them an idea of what they might be missing, because it's actually kind of cool. What we're doing tonight is we are going inside a Mayday organizing call. Now, you might say, Karlyn, Mayday was last week. Well, yeah, Mayday was last week. But this is a debrief call after the 1,000+ events that these people organized nationwide last week, where they're going to talk about how things went and then what they're doing next. So this is the call where we're going to get insight into what is coming up next. This call will be hosted by the National Education Association, which is the teachers union. And by the way, while we were doing the intro, I found out, check this out. The National Education Association next week is hosting Public Education Should Be Bipartisan virtual town hall for GOP public education allies. The National Education Association, an extremely leftist institution that is basically the largest union in the country, is actually reaching out to the GOP to say, hey, you guys want to keep public schools? We want to keep public schools. We should work together to keep public schools. So of course we're going to do that one. Of course we're signed up for that one, obviously. But that's not what we're doing tonight. We're doing their Mayday organizing call because we have seen on previous calls where they said flat out, they're like, Mayday is not the only protest. Mayday is the first protest. And then there will be many, 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 many more protests afterwards. And it's like, oh, really? You guys are already publicly promising a summer of love. So in about 7 minutes, this call is going to start and we're going to go inside it. As a reminder for people who've not been on SpyStream before, this is a live training. I do not know what they're going to say. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know if they're going to say anything interesting. I will not be doing commentary over the training because this is our recording too. If you do send in super chats, I will, of course, honor those super chats, but maybe not during the training, just so we can get the best recording. But this is live. Anything can happen. They could kick us out. They could cancel the training. This is a public spy stream. Makes it a little bit more difficult. Someone could email them saying, did you know that crazy bitch on YouTube is streaming your training? I don't think they would care because, again, there are going to be thousands of leftist organizers on this call. They record them. So I don't actually think they're going to care. But they could pull the plug on the training. We had that happen before where a company found out we were streaming their training online and they just canceled the entire thing. Like immediately for everyone. And I was like, well, that's a win. So this is a live training. This is a live event. Now, to give you an idea of some of the things we found in spy streams, and these three things are things that I all found. So the National Education Association has been organizing these meetings on a weekly basis for a little while now. We've gone inside their meetings before. I got a congresswoman telling activists to harass politicians on these trainings. That happened a couple weeks ago. I got the vice president of the Chicago Teachers Union talking about shutting shit down, encouraging teachers to leave classrooms to go protest, talking about abolishing the Constitution, talking about abolishing democracy. That happened on one of these calls a couple weeks ago. And I even got the president of the National Education Association, Becky Pringle herself, telling teachers, leave the classroom in the middle of a workday, go protest, go out into the streets. This all came from these organizing calls over the past couple weeks. So I don't know what they're going to say. I don't know what they're going to do. They might not say anything crazy at all in this call. That certainly happens. We've done a couple spy streams lately that are kind of boring. But what I will tell you is we've gotten 3 really good clips over the past couple weeks on these calls. And they're having these calls on a weekly basis. So this is going to be cannon fodder for us, which I like quite a bit. Guys, if you feel like supporting the work I'm doing, which keeps me in business, of course, most spy streams are available for supporters only. Head over to the Substack. That is my preferred supporter method. That is Karlyn, KARLYN.substack.com. Sign up for $8 a month, $80 a year. You can get access to the man-hating lefty training we did earlier today. I got to tell you, like on a normal circumstance, I probably would have been pretty shocked by this training. But since we did 4 days in the Institute of Male Supremacism not too long ago, I was kind of like, more male supremacy. But we did do that. We did that earlier in the day. So you can get access to that. Supporters get access to the full spy stream archives. So you'll get access to all of this stuff, the full recording. I do make clips available afterwards. We still have a metric ton of clips to release from that. I've just had so many other clips from that were more time sensitive that I was like, okay, maybe that needs to go on the back burner. But part of the reason my computer is running so effing slow is I have all the Institute for Research into Male Supremacism on my desktop right now. All of it open. It's a bad way to run a computer. I understand that. Don't lecture me if you're a tech bro. I know what I'm doing is wrong. I know it's not the best way to do it. I understand that. And I'm doing it anyway because the way I work, okay, leave me alone. Anyway, we also have gotten some other great stuff on spy streams. Like, did you guys see I just published this story today? Public school educators admitting changing the name of DEI just to defy Trump. Look at this slide. We can't say DEI. Change the name. Don't change the work. What part of DEI are we opposed to? Just say variety instead of diversity, or fairness instead of equity, or belonging instead of inclusion. This was from a spy stream last week. We got a couple more great ones from that. So, ton of good stuff. And tonight in about 3 minutes, I'm taking you guys inside a live call. This is a live call. So we're going to be quiet. We're going to do commentary in the chat. All right. So when I have things to say on this call, I'm going to type them in the chat and display them on the screen if it's a good time to do so. I would welcome you guys doing your commentary over the training as well, and I'll display other people's chats on the screen. Let's have a good time. These people are like, they're going to know we're listening because this is public, right? But you're going to see them say things when they are in their private environments, when they're only talking to each other. So they generally don't think that people like us actually listen. And we're proving them wrong this time only. All right, let me just get my setup here. We got 2 minutes to go, guys. Please do mount the like button for me. Please make sure you are subscribed to the channel if you are not already. We stream Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. We do Socialism Saturdays on Saturdays at 6 p.m. Let me get up this here Zoom. Join webinar. Let's take a sec. Okay, they haven't started yet, so they're going to probably let people in a minute. So we're going to sit here and be patient. These guys usually start on time. Leftists almost always are late. Almost every single time. Like I'm one to talk. I'm late a lot too, right? Guys, we are going to be doing happy hour tomorrow. Happy hour tomorrow is going to be it's going to be a little bit of a lighter stream. I'm thinking about watching that Sargon video where he was making fun of James Lindsay. I'm thinking of watching Tim Pool on trigonometry. So we're going to get some beer and we're just going to let loose on Friday and watch some fun content and make fun of them. We do, of course, have a spy stream tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. And tomorrow's spy stream is going inside a really major university in a gender-related topic, is what I'll say. But I think it's going to be really good. I think tomorrow's spy stream is going to be super, super, super cringe. So again, that's open to supporters on my Substack, my locals, my Patreon, YouTube channel members. So if you want to be like, if anyone wants to gift some YouTube channel memberships, now is going to be a great time to do it to get new people into the channel. Also, Twitter subscribers, I will post the credentials out before the spy stream tomorrow. So just go to whatever platform you are a supporter on. I really think this one's going to be some cringy content tomorrow. You guys are going to love it. It's going to be great. I always get like, sometimes I sign up for spy streams and I'm like, I don't know if this is going to be a good one. Like we've done some this week. I kind of signed up for that. I was like, I don't know if this is going to be good, but let's just do it anyway.
Welcome. As we are gathering, if you want to drop in the chat where you're calling in from.
Recording in progress.
Go down to the bottom right-hand part of your screen. Click everyone. Tell us where you're coming from. Where you at, y'all?
It's not my fault, YouTube. People in the chat.
That's right. Hit me with some emoji reactions. It's 8 o'clock and there are 1,000 of us. It's gonna be a big night. Yes, keep coming. Keep
Not
coming.
my fault,
Where y'all
YouTube. I
coming
didn't pick up the music. Don't copyright strike me, bro.
We're gonna get started in just a few minutes, y'all. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
Yeah, it's not my fault they're playing.
We're gonna
music
get into
loud.
it.
Sorry, not my fault. I didn't do nothing.
Yes.
Okay.
Keep it coming.
Yes, queen.
The chat is flying, but you might just make a new friend in the chat. Somebody live near you, you might make a new friend.
Thousands of radical.
Welcome,
leftists
everyone.
are on this
Welcome.
call
We're
right
so
now.
glad you're here. Keep those intros coming in the chat. Yes.
Thousands.
All right. You know what? Our intro music has ended, so let's just get going.
Yeah,
I'm going to kick it over to Flavia, who's going to start us off and tell us if you are calling in for Spanish
I know this
interpretation.
organization.
Flavia is going to tell you how you can
Stand
access
up
this
for
webinar.
racial justice. Nachos, burrito.
Thank you so much, Grace. Para activar la interpretación en Zoom, por favor, hagan
Por
clic en el globo
favor,
terráqueo que dice interpretación
¿dónde está la
y en la parte
biblioteca?
inferior a
Everyone
la
speak
derecha
your
de su
best Spanish
pantalla y
in the
escojan
chat.
el idioma que desean participar. En este caso, español. Si están conectándose
favor.
desde Zoom con un teléfono móvil, esto está
Nacho,
ubicado
burrito,
abajo a la
taco,
derecha. Busquen
fajita.
3 puntos que dice More o más. Opriman allí y luego opriman interpretación de idiomas
Spanish, I know.
y luego escojan español y por último toquen finalizado, done o hecho arriba a la
Feliz
derecha. Si tienen
Navidad.
algún problema, avísennos por el chat y les podemos asistir. Muchas gracias. Over to you, Grace. Thank you.
Muchas gracias.
Thanks, Flavia. Welcome to everyone. Hey, y'all. Can't believe it was just a week ago that we were all out in the streets together, and we're going to talk about it. My name is Grace. I work at Showing Up for Racial Justice, or SURJ. I'm in Brooklyn, New York. Shout out in the chat if you're a SURJ member. But no matter who you are, where you are, whether you are with an org, whether you are with a union or not, we are so glad you're here tonight. You are needed. You belong here in this movement. We need all of us in, and we all have to get ready to get to work, y'all, okay? Check out this map. That's a beautiful thing. Look at all those locations. Shout out in the chat. Where were you on Mayday? What action did you show up at? Y'all, we made history on Mayday this year. It was the most actions on any Mayday in American history. 1,000 actions, 850 locations, all 50 states. Shout out to everybody in all 50 states. We had social justice organizations, racial justice, housing justice, immigrant rights groups, housing, coming together with labor unions, standing together united. Y'all, why do they work so hard to divide us? It's because they know there are more of us than there are of them. And if we stand together, just like we did on May Day, they're screwed. We can overpower them. I know that some folks at my org at SURJ came out on May Day, and it was their very first protest. If it was your first protest, shout it out in the chat, and everybody else give them some love. Like, no matter where you're starting from, we're glad that you're here. And I know for others of us, it was, you're the 100th protest or the 100th action you've ever been to. There were 5,000 of our members that RSVP'd to actions. And this is just the beginning of these cross-movement, cross-sector relationships that we're going to have to keep building on that are going to hold us together in the days to come. We're showing up for each other, and there's nothing the billionaires can do to stop us. So if you're a billionaire on this call, you should be very afraid. All right. I'm going to tell you about all the nice things. Look, but we're going to do some show don't tell at the top of this call, y'all, so that you can feel the breadth and the depth of this movement and what this day actually was. Look at these gorgeous headlines. We got Anchorage, we got Chicago, we got Philly. Y'all were making headlines. We were making the news. Yeah, and like I said, this is just going to be a spark. This is just the beginning, this fire that is capable of cohering the mass movement that we need to show up for our multiracial democracy and build a movement that's capable on delivering the things that all working people really need. So let's look at some highlights. We're going to look at a little bit of what happened. Can we get those clips up on the screen?
It is May Day, and more important than ever on this May Day, it is important we reclaim our country, our democracy, and our future.
Brothers and sisters, we stand here together, united to say that the billionaire class should be afraid of the power of labor and everyday workers across the country.
Never before have so few had so much political power. We tell these greedy oligarchs, this country belongs to all of us, not the billionaire class.
And on May Day, I am Kilmer Abrego Garcia. I am Mahmoud Khalil. We all are one.
We're out here marching for all workers, and we're out here saying, fund working people's lives, fund our families, not billionaire salaries.
The administration is attacking our immigrant neighbors and is doing so many other things to harm our communities, while also trying to repress civil society, repress our activism. We need to be be bolder, we need to be stronger, and we cannot be afraid.
Use your courage, use your conviction, use your coalition to create the world where children are protected and not bombed. We stand united and fight, we win! Only our community exercising our power will save us.
Today is International Workers' Day across the South and across the country. We're showing up and showing out. We are marching, organizing, and raising our voices to demand justice on the job and in our communities. We say no to the billionaire agenda. No to Medicaid cuts. We say no to defunding education. We say no to limits on our freedom of speech. We say no to rising housing costs. And we are here to demand people over profit, families over fortunes, public schools over funding cuts, workers over bosses, immigrant safety over fear, dignity over exploitation, because we know our worth and we're done being underpaid, overworked, and disrespected. From Waffle House to warehouses, classrooms to hospitals, our fights connect. Mayday isn't just a moment, it's a movement, and we're just getting started. Today is
Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us here at our headquarters in Hollywood, where today in LA, thousands of concerned American citizens joined shoulders here in town, in New York City, in Chicago, in Washington, in all 50 states. Atlanta, there were demonstrations. Democracy ain't dead yet. I guess Bernie Sanders was there. The rallies were organized for Mayday to stand up against the war on working people being waged by Trump and his billionaire buddies. I wonder if Trump even sees these, though. You know, I mean, you will not find any evidence of them happening on foxnews.com, whereas they did have the full coverage of some of the hot new bikinis Brittany Mahomes is wearing this spring. But it's hard for Trump, you know, protesters making posters, using his beloved Sharpies against him.
Y'all, we were all over the place. We were on the internet. We even got in Jimmy Kimmel. Smash that applause and heart button down there. Give it up for all of our coast to coast, everywhere that folks were showing up. I just saw someone in the chat say, I am not alone. That's right. I hope you're feeling that. You are not alone. We are here right now, 2.3 thousand strong on this call. There's also folks out there on YouTube. If you are a troll, if you are a hater on this call, what's up, haters? Please listen closely and take our messages back to your billionaire cronies and tell them that we're coming for them and there's nothing they can do about it. All right, we're going to hear from some incredible movement leaders tonight, y'all. We have an incredible agenda, but we know everybody, we march, we mobilize, what's next? Folks are always itching to hear the what's next, take steps part. We got a lot of steps. Next steps, we got a lot of ways you can move into action. I'm going to share them really briefly at the top of this call, and then you're going to hear them again and again throughout the call. We're going to go into them much deeper, but just so that you have them at the beginning, we got Mayday Strong. You got to like and subscribe on the website to get more updates. We've got an Organizing 101 training coming up at the end of May. We've got Open, Organized Power in Numbers, 10 Million Strong campaign, where they're putting workers over billionaires. We got a Billionaire Power Grabs 101 webinar happening in June. There's a direct action training happening. A great way for us to all be getting trained to show up to stop the billionaire takeover. Hands off our schools, no King's actions. Okay, so we all have no excuse. We all can commit to signing up for at least one or maybe 5 things from all the different orgs that are on this call. So you'll be hearing, again, more about those, and you'll be getting all those resources in a follow-up email, including the recording from this call. So don't worry about that. All right, y'all ready to get into it? You ready to hear from some of our incredible movement leaders? Yeah, give me some thumbs up. Give me some emojis. Beautiful. We are going to pass it over to Tara Stamps, who's going to give a report back from Chicago. She's with CTU. Shout out if you're with the Chicago Teachers Union. Tara, take it away. All right. Well, I think it's a recording from Tara, so maybe they're queuing it up. Y'all got that? I'll keep talking while we're getting that played up. Why don't we drop into the chat? What was the most powerful thing that happened for you? What was the most powerful thing that you saw at your Mayday action? Let's like put down in the bottom right-hand corner, put it on everyone. Let's hear something powerful that happened in your Mayday action. And I'm going to pass it actually. Instead of passing it to Tara, we're going to go straight to Jackson Potter, the CTU vice president, but keep putting it in the chat. We want to know, what was something powerful that happened at your Mayday action, y'all?
Thanks so much, Grace. Yeah, Tara's my sister in the struggle. She is a CTU member and a Cook County Commissioner. We'll share that video with you later, maybe in the email that comes. But this is a moment where our movement ancestors are looking down and saying, if the arc of the universe bends towards justice, it depends on us. And there's a lot at stake. We showed the power of solidarity on May 1st, and it's a small sample size of what it's going to take to have the stronger, broader coalitions necessary to preserve and expand our democracy and build up greater numbers of people working together, organizing in the multiracial working class to fight this billionaire agenda, you know, to prevent the cuts to services, schools, the raising of prices and cost of living and housing for their tax breaks. So we are talking about building all the way up to and after Labor Day. There are a series of things that Grace talks about, Sakib's going to repeat, she's going to tell you again before the call is over, that are going to help us get better at organizing in our communities, in our block clubs, in our workplaces, because that's what's going to require to exponentially increase the type of resistance, vision, and movement necessary for this moment. We're going to hear from my partner in justice, Mayday Dominguez, who is going to talk about outreach to 10 million workers in the Southwest. That's going to happen shortly. We need to make that 30 or 50 million. And in 6 months, that will enable us to protect and defend the democracy, to advance workers' rights, immigrant rights, and civil rights in more powerful and necessary ways. Be strike ready if we must, protest ready, continuing to organize wherever we can to protect our most vulnerable communities. And so somebody I have a lot of respect for, and one of the best organizers out here today, building tremendous momentum from Mayday, 10 million workers in the Southwest, Mayday Dominguez. I'm going to hand it off to you.
Hi, everyone. It's so good to see so many of us here. I'm just here to just kind of keep speaking to the choir. Mayday was the beginning. It was not the end. And now all of us need a lot of work to do and have a lot of work to do ahead of us. And so I'm going to ask all of you, there's so many things. You already heard from Grace, so many things you can sign up. But for us in the Sun Belt, we're really trying to reach 10 million workers in the Sun Belt by Labor Day. That means 10 million conversations. We're going to text people, we're going to call people, but we're also going to train hundreds and hopefully thousands of people just like you in the Sun Belt to actually talk to their neighbors, to their coworkers, to talk to everyone so that we can start actually just leaning on each other and reminding each other that, yeah, they have the money, but we have the people. And when we come together, our power is unstoppable. So if you're interested in joining us in reaching 10 million workers in the Sun Belt, I'm going to ask you to, I'm going really low tech here. I'm going to ask you to text WOB to 58910. We'll put it in the chat too. Text WOB, Workers Over Billionaires, to 58910. Please join us. We need help and we need more of us. Like Jackson said, hopefully we're reaching 50 million workers across the country by Labor Day with all of you combined. So thank you for having us here. Workers Over Billionaires, let's go. Let's keep organizing. We need everyone.
We love you, Mayday. Thank you for being with us. Shout out to everybody that's organizing in the Sun Belt and the Southwest. We got Tara's video, y'all, because we have some amazing tech team powering this webinar. Shout out to our tech team. We're going to hear from Tara at CTU now.
Hey, it's Tara Stam, Sis Commish. We are coming to you live from the Chicago Teachers Union. Listen, we threw down on Thursday. We had over 500 young people in the building making flyers, doing their work, understanding what this historic moment is all about, understanding what it means to amplify, unify, and how important workers' rights are, not just in the past, but in the moment that we are all born to meet, which is now. We had 30,000 people in this street. We had so many people presenting from both Union Park and Grant Park, elected officials, union organizers, community-based organizing groups. I mean, it was the most diverse contingency of workers, people who care about the quality of life in this country, coming together as siblings to amplify our voice and to fight for our democracy. Listen, do not be mistaken. We are under attack. War has been declared on the American people. And so together, we are going to fight for workers' rights, immigrant rights, African-American people's rights in this country that they built. We're going to fight for our children. We're going to make sure that we get the resources that they need. And all boots must be in the ground. And I am so happy to report that all across this country, people are ready. The streets are listening. And folks are ready to put their hand to the plow so that we can really deliver the kind of world that our children deserve to grow up in. And I'm asking for you to partner with us. Get to know your neighbors, talk to your neighbors, organize your block clubs, talk to the people in your community groups. Right now is the time for radical solidarity. And listen, don't be afraid, because you were born to meet this moment. Let's get it.
Thank you, Tara. Let's give some love in the chat for her. Radical solidarity. Who's ready for radical solidarity? That's what we're going to need to face down what we're up against, y'all. All right? Yes, give me those hearts. There are now 2,400 of us strong on this call and more ready for radical solidarity. We're going to go talk to our neighbors. All right. Anybody here on the call from Philly? Do we have some Philadelphians in the house? Our next speaker is the president of Philly Unite here, Roslyn Wichinich.
Hi, good evening, everyone. It's so exciting to be on this call with everyone and to have seen all the amazing actions all around the country. It was just absolutely beautiful. So I was going to share just a little bit about what the amazing action we had here in Philadelphia. I can say that it was a truly historic event. I feel like I described it as like a tectonic shift in in our city, and in the labor movement here, and in labor and community solidarity here in our city, way beyond even my own expectations of what was possible. And we had this was the first we've had in the history of Mayday in Philadelphia, has been that the immigrant rights community has done mobilizations many times. Some parts of labor have done some mobilizations. It's been rare that we have done those together and in big numbers. This was, I don't know the exact numbers. Senator Sanders was our guest speaker, which was absolutely amazing. He said 5,000. I think it was more than that, but it was just huge, huge, huge. And it was convened. I'm so proud to say that it was convened by the Philadelphia Council, AFL-CIO, that brought us together. I'm so proud that the coalition of all of our unions was the convening and hosting organization that brought labor and community together in such a strong and powerful way, as it should. It's just truly amazing. The messaging that we're all talking about here was just super clear, that we were talking about workers over billionaires, people over billionaires, immigrants over billionaires, all of us over billionaires, and also about solidarity. That term radical solidarity, as we live it in Unite here every day. And solidarity is the superpower that the labor movement brings. And it is, if we're true to solidarity, we have to stay united, and we have to build across the differences of race, of gender, of sexuality, of all the different forms of our identity that the billionaires use to divide us. And that's the true meaning of solidarity. And we saw it in the streets in Philadelphia on Mayday. And I will just want to add that we kicked off with Senator Sanders, and we ended with civil disobedience of over 70 union and community members. That is the first time that I've seen anything like that, with labor really at the center of it, with community members in our city. We had top elected officers of Teamsters, of the American Federation of Government Employees, of Unite Here, of 2 different AFSCME district councils, and many, many others, including 23 members of our union, and many members of DSA and others that were getting arrested in the streets. And it has taken years, certainly within our union and within other movements here, to create a situation where it would be imaginable that we would all be getting arrested in the streets together. And many, many people were getting arrested for the first time, but I don't think it'll be the last. And I think many people will join us. It was just a truly powerful time. We marched from City Hall and blocked the entrance to the main highway during rush hour here in Philadelphia. So it was a dream come true, and I'm super excited about where we are going to be able to go next. So I want to appreciate everybody here who participated, whether in Philadelphia or anywhere else, and I'm excited to move forward our fights here. Next up, we are fighting our hotel employers, fighting our airport employers, and fighting together with our all of our siblings in the labor movement and community against the billionaire agenda. So I'm just proud and honored to be here tonight with all of you. And let's go.
Let's go. Thank you, Roslyn. Thank you, Roslyn. Just a quick logistical note. If you guys want to go down to the bottom right hand of your screen and switch your messaging options from hosts and panelists to everyone, then everyone will be getting your amazing hype and info and love. Okay, yeah, let's keep it going for Unite Here, Philly. We had Bernie, Senator Sanders out there. Who on this call hates Elon Musk and wants to see us and our movements deliver a massive W to Elon? Yeah, totally. Me too. And we got a friend on the call, Dave Woodeman from Tesla Takedown, and they are working to do just that. Take it away, Dave.
Hey, what's up, party people? I am Dave from Tesla Takedown, and specifically, I am the organizer of the Santa Monica chapter. Every Saturday at 1 p.m., you can find us down in front of the Tesla showroom in posh 3rd Street Promenade territory of Santa Monica. Making a racket, dancing, chanting, singing, and having a great time, and trying to spread the word about the billionaire coup that Elon Musk is heading. So how did I get involved with Tesla Takedown? Honestly, like a lot of people, kind of just a normal guy. I work in tech. I have a strong moral compass. And so over the last few years, I've been watching with increasing concern how the forces of techno-fascism have been gaining sway in Silicon Valley and all up and down the coast and all over the world. And we don't want to let that happen. So I'm sitting on my couch one day and I see that somebody has started something called Tesla Takedown. I see it on Blue Sky. I click through, I start reading, and I go, that's a great idea. Somebody needs to be doing this. Bless these people. So I click around and I say, what would be cool is if there was one of these in Santa Monica that I could go to. I click on the map, look around, there's none in Santa Monica. And I'm shocked. And I say, well, if all I have to do is add it to the map, then I'll do that. It takes 5 seconds. So I go and I add it to the map, and suddenly it's telling me, do you want to publish this event? And if you publish this event, you're going to be the host and you're going to be responsible for organizing, blah, blah, blah. And I had to have a gut check at that moment. And I decided, hell yeah, let's do this. If not me, then who? If not us, then who? If not now, then when? So I got involved that day. And 3 months later, I've been hosting an event every single Saturday outside the Tesla showroom. And this is happening all over the country and even abroad. So the most recent really cool thing that happened with Tesla Takedown was I got some intel from the Tesla Takedown staff that Elon Musk was actually traveling to my hometown of Los Angeles and was going to be speaking at a thing called the Milken Institute Global Conference, which is a place where thought leaders go and expound upon big visionary ideas and how to raise capital for them. And essentially, even though there are some good people there are a lot of techno grifters. There's a lot of techno fascists there. So we showed up on short notice. We showed up on Sunday morning with sort of 48 hours notice. We got the confirmation that Musk's jet flew in the night before. We went out there with our drums, with our chants, with our megaphones, and we raised holy hell for 4 to 5 hours and pissed off a lot of really rich people. And it was cool. And Musk ended up driving through in his motorcade and speaking at the conference. It was just gratifying to know that we made our voice heard there. So just to wrap up really quick, Tesla Takedown is only about 3 months old. It's a huge and growing movement. If you'd like to get involved, you can go check out the details at teslatakedown.com. One of the new initiatives is encouraging divestment of public dollars from Musk companies. And there was recently a $500 million public pension fund in Pennsylvania who agreed to stop all investment in Tesla. So that movement is gaining steam, and you can find out more about that at teslatakedown.com. Head there, find an event. If there's not an event, do like I did and set up one yourself and try to make a change in this world. So we've got a lot of big things in the works, and I just want to encourage everybody to get involved with Tesla Takedown and keep your eyes open for some big announcements over the next few weeks. Thank you so much. That's all I got.
Let's give it up for Dave. We love you. We love what you are up to. I love hearing in the chat people are joining in cities near them. If you don't have a Tesla dealership near you, I know that there are probably ways that you can plug in. We love what y'all are up to. And y'all, Dave said he just saw a problem and he organized a thing. He stepped right up to the plate. So can all of us, you know? All right, we're going to keep it rolling. We're going to hear from some really amazing folks next. I'm going to pass it over to Sakib Bhatti, who is the ED of Bargaining for the Common Good.
Hey, everyone. Thanks, Grace. It's great to be here with you all tonight. Those Tesla takedown actions are really something else, right? And what's great is we know they're working, right? Trump is coming to view Musk as a political liability, and he's pushing him out. We've seen reports that he's like, Musk's days are numbered. We also know Musk is realizing that his extracurricular activities at Doge are back for business as Tesla stock plummets and investors are up in arms. He's decided he's also going to step back, he's saying, right? But while stopping Musk is important, of course, we know our work is far from done. Musk is an important player, but he's just one of the several billionaire oligarchs that are driving the fascist agenda. So I'm talking about billionaire oligarchs like Peter Thiel, Joe Gebbia, and Antonio Gracias. Now, if you're wondering who these people are, let me tell you. So Peter Thiel and Elon Musk merged their companies and co-founded PayPal together in 2000. He's also the founder and chairman of Palantir Technologies, which is a key player in attacks on immigrants, the genocide in Gaza, and the AI takeover of the federal government's data systems. Joe Gebbia, he's the co-founder of and a major investor in Airbnb. He's also on the board of Tesla, and he's one of Musk's Doge bros. Antonio Gracias runs Valor Equity Partners, which is a hedge fund based in Chicago. He's also on the board of trustees of the University of Chicago, the board of visitors of the Georgetown University School of Foreign Service, and a board member of both Tesla and SpaceX. Gracias heads up Doge's immigration task force and is leading Doge's attacks on Social Security as well, right? I mentioned these people because these are all folks who we can actually take on, right? And there are many, many more. These are just a handful of the oligarchs. Every single one of these oligarchs deserves the Musk treatment. So let's give it to them, right? So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna launch a Stop the Billionaire Summer School, right? So we have a series of different types of training scheduled that will help us all build different types of skill sets to take on Thiel, Gebbia, Gracias, and the rest of the billionaire oligarchs. So first up, we'll be hosting the Billionaire Power Grab 101 webinar on June 11th. Can you go to the next slide, please, so folks can see the links for this? Thanks. So the Billionaire Power Grab 101 webinar will be at 8 p.m. Eastern on June 11th. This webinar will go into who the billionaires are, what their long-term goals are, and how we can stop them. It's kind of like what I just did, but an hour-long version that goes deeper and offers up ideas on what to do to take on these folks. You can sign up for this webinar at bit.ly/billionairepowergrab101. Next up, the Skills to Win training. UC Berkeley and Bargaining for the Common Good are teaming up to hold a special edition of Jane McAlevy's Skills to Win program, which is this one's geared specifically towards groups in the Mayday movement. This training will be aimed at unions, worker centers, community groups, and organizers that are just getting started, to teach folks how to build organizations with deep member engagement, align unions and community groups, and engage in rapid response action in a way that actually builds long-term power and organization. Right? Participants are required to register in groups of at least 10 people, because organizing is a team sport, and this is really not about how individual people take action, but about how we actually grow the movement and build our collective capacity to do that. So the training will be held over the weekend, July 19th and 20th on Zoom. Each group will need to select a group coordinator to communicate with the group. Only the group coordinator needs to register. But all the group coordinators need to attend a one-day mini training on Saturday, May 31st. And so everyone on this call, the May 31st date is crucial. We really want to get to 500 cities. So we'd love to have 5 folks in 500 different places sign up for the May 31st. So that we can really, really take this movement to scale, right? So everyone on this call can, you can all serve as group coordinators. So really register at bit.ly/skills-to-win-Mayday. The registration link is in the chat as well as on the screen. And you can, come to the training on May 31st, and then, learn how to actually recruit 10 more people to come to the bigger training in July. And then finally, the movement to end fossil fuels is mobilizing climate activists to confront the fossil fuel billionaires taking over our government and worsening the shift towards authoritarianism. They're running action trainings in 75 plus communities across the country this July and August, and that'll be followed by distributed actions directly taking those folks on. So you don't have to be a climate activist to attend, right? This training will be useful for everyone trying to stop the billionaire oligarchs. And, because surprise, surprise, all of our fights are connected. The same folks who are trying to take over the government and really ruin our lives are also, causing, one of the ways they're doing that is the climate crisis. Right, so by training thousands of new and experienced activists, we will expand the numbers of people in the movement who can lead action and train others to do the same. You can sign up for that at bit.ly/stopbillionairestraining. Right, the goal of this exciting summer school lineup is to train us all to take on the billionaires in many different ways. The Skills to Win training is really about organizing and growing our numbers. That direct action training is about doing effective direct actions. The Billionaire Power Grab 101 is about how we develop a strong analysis around what's actually going on and how we talk about it in a way that connects with people. So next, I'm going to hand it off to Connie Raza from Future Currents, who's going to talk about opportunities around road mapping and scenario planning.
Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to be here with you. What an amazing show of force on Mayday, and what an amazing group of people here tonight and on Mayday itself and moving forward. What we want to be able to do is to help ground folks not only in where we've been, but also where we're going. And so we are going to be offering a briefing around where we are in terms of, political scientists have already said that we are now in a non-democracy, and we'll talk a bit about how we know that that's true, where we're heading. There are a couple of likely outcomes, one more likely than the other. We want to go into what each of those possible outcomes might be, and really think about what do those possible directions mean about what our strategies are, how we understand how power works in our government, and then what we need to do to meet the moment. Well, you're already doing it. You're here. You are at Mayday. You're doing the next thing. You're at the Tesla takedowns each week. And so we want to get into formation for the long fight ahead. And we'll be putting out information for this community in coming weeks in order to be able to get those trainings up and running.
Thanks, Connie. We've always said Mayday is just the beginning. We know we have to keep the pressure going. So I want to first actually shout out an action that happened this past Tuesday when the American Association of University Professors and the Los Angeles teachers protested Linda McMahon, right, Secretary of Education, who was also a speaker at the Milken Institute's conference in LA. And we're really going to keep building on that, right? So our next speaker will talk about a series of actions planned for next week. Please welcome Michael Borges from the California Teachers Association.
Hi, folks. So thanks for that. I saw a lot of folks from California in the chat. So hopefully we've got some good places to do some organizing with you all coming up soon. So educators are going to be organizing to fight and protect our students and our schools with a series of 5 rallies on May 17th. We're going to be all across California, so in San Francisco, Sacramento, San Diego, Hanford for our folks in the middle of the state, and then in LA/Hawthorne, right across from the SpaceX facility to do a big protest there. You can find more info on all of these rallies at cta.org/FFS. So not that many characters, cta.org/FFS. And you can find all the timing, logistical info, and RSVP right there on the site. And hopefully we'll see you all in places like Hanford. I see some shout outs there, or San Francisco or Hanford. Thanks, folks.
Thanks, Michael. That's really, really exciting. And coming up on the heels of the California actions on the 17th, the U.S. Campaign for Palestinian Rights is holding a National Day of Action against Chevron on May 21st. And then also this month, there are protests planned every Sunday at Burbank Airport in Los Angeles from 4 to 6 p.m. to protest Avelo Airlines, which is operating deportation flights. And then to keep building the drumbeat with escalating actions, I'm going to hand it off to Leah Greenberg, the co-director of Indivisible, to talk about the next big National Day of Action.
Thanks so much. And hi, everyone. It's great to be here with you tonight. Thank you so much for your work on Mayday. It is beautiful. It is historic. It is powerful. And I'm just really proud to be part of it with you. So June 14th, you may have heard Donald Trump is planning to spend tens of millions of dollars on a military parade that is conveniently scheduled for his birthday. I'm just going to repeat, tens of millions of dollars. They're estimating 50 million, as much as 50 million, in a moment when they are telling us that there is no money for Medicaid or Social Security offices, no money for clean air and water, no money for our schools. They have found $50 million for Donald Trump to throw himself a lavish birthday party. And it's not just a birthday party, right? It is not an isolated move. It is a symbol. It is a symbol in the midst of an escalating power grab. Donald Trump has spent the last 3 months defying the courts, terrorizing our communities with his mass deportation agenda, attacking our civil and labor rights, sabotaging the Constitution, stealing from our services. He is laying claim to our national symbols, twisting the Flag Day and the founding of the Army into props for his authoritarian agenda. This is a power grab, plain and simple. We know authoritarianism relies on divide and conquer tactics and on creating fear and shows of dominance. And so we are going to counter with a nationwide show of defiance and community and joy and unity. No Kings is going to be a decentralized mass demonstration of opposition everywhere outside of DC. We're partnering with the good folks at Free DC, who are going to be organizing an event away from the event itself. It's an invitation to everyone who understands that they have gone too far, that they are hurting, they're attacking us and attacking the things we care about, and that they are doing it to benefit themselves. We are going to show that real power is not staged with tanks in DC. It rises up in communities across the country. Now, we launched this action on Monday with an incredible group of partners, the folks on this call. I'm not going to successfully name everyone, but I'm just going to shout out a few. CTU, of course, 5051, the American Federation of Teachers, Public Citizen, Black Voters Matter, the Transformative Justice Coalition, ACLU, National Action Network. I'm not going to successfully land everybody, but it's a bunch of really, really great organizations from across the ecosystem. We are already at nearly 400 events across the country. Today, we officially hit all 50 states. Plus a couple of events in Italy, which I am available to speak at if anybody wants to invite me. I see in the chat, some of you are already planning your actions. That is amazing. I hope you get enough rest in between different actions, because that is part of what we need to do. But I also hope that everybody on this call will consider throwing in, whether you are attending, whether you are helping organize, whether you are hosting yourselves. You can sign up at nokings.org and help us populate that map. Help us show, again, that real power is not a military pageant in DC. It is people across the country coming together to reject the billionaire agenda and to say no kings.
No kings. Hell yeah. We all watched Schoolhouse Rock. We know about that. Thanks, Leah. Thanks, Michael. Thanks, Connie. Thank you, Saqib. As we said at the top of this call, y'all, there are a lot of next steps that are coming down the pike. You don't have to do it all, but we can all do something. And just as a reminder, you're going to get all of these resources and links after the call. You're going to hear it a few more times on this call, and then you're going to hear it later. You'll get it via email. So you will have it all in your hot little email inboxes. All right, we're going to keep it rolling. Next up, we have somebody who is the president of CWA 7799, Jade Kelly, who is going to give a report back from our friends out west in Colorado and the Rocky Mountains about what went down on Mayday with y'all. What's up, Jade? Welcome.
Thank you, Grace. And yes, my name is Jade Kelly, and I have served for the past 4 years as president of CWA Local 7799. We are your favorite union's favorite union. We are a member-led public sector union for thousands of workers all across Colorado, with UCW Colorado for faculty, staff, graduate, undergraduate workers at CU, Denver Health Workers United, UC Health Workers United, Denver Public Library Workers United, Pikes Peak Library Workers United, Boulder County Employees Union, and the Defenders Union of Colorado, representing workers in our public defender system. And I am here to brag about something extraordinary. Mayday 2025 in Denver and all across the Rocky Mountain region, a day that didn't just happen. It was a day that was built over years of organizing, dreaming, and refusing to let the legacy of the international worker struggle just fade into silence. Just 3 years ago, there was virtually nothing happening around Mayday in Colorado. We were just a baby union back then, 7799. We founded in 2020, organizing in hostile soil, but we said if no one else will reclaim Mayday, we will. We took it upon ourselves to organize Mayday in the spirit that it was born, not as a holiday, not as a day where children dance around a pole, but as a global call to action, a day of rage, a day of love, a demonstration of our power as the working class. The first year, we had 150 people. Last year, we had 300 people. And this year, in the middle of the workday, 2,500 people walked off the job and showed up at the Colorado State Capitol to declare one thing: Mayday belongs to us. This is our fight, and this is our world to win. We had 45 unions, 10 revolutionary organizations. We passed out over 1,000 burritos, 500 paletas. We marched with a mariachi band, which, by the way, I highly recommend. We gave out Eat the Rich temporary tattoos and hats, and we gave out 500 roses. And this wasn't just about the numbers or well-designed swag. It was the kind of movement-building infrastructure we needed. Workers from across Colorado delivered great speeches about the future of our labor movement. We also made some important connections in our planning meetings, built rapid response units in multiple unions to mobilize workers if ICE shows up at our work sites. We flooded our boss's phone to tell them to stop union busting at UC Health in Boulder County. We revived Pride at Work in Colorado to fight for our trans and queer siblings. And we shut down the streets in front of the 10th Circuit Court during immigration hearings because we refused to separate labor justice from immigrant justice, because solidarity knows no borders, and we know as unionists, an injury to one is an injury to all. And this wasn't just Colorado. We rallied with our union siblings in Phoenix, in Minneapolis, in Santa Fe, in Fort Collins, in Salt Lake City, a growing Western front of workers ready to fight and ready to win. We marched across the West for every undocumented worker who keeps our country running and is repaid with fear of deportation and labor exploitation. We rallied for every single student dreaming of freedom and facing handcuffs instead. We rallied and organized Mayday for every family torn apart by raids, by walls, by racism wrapped in the flag. And let me be explicitly clear here. Donald Trump is not the only one with power. CWA 7799 was built for this moment. Unions have survived the attacks of billionaires and oligarchs. Unions have defied the greed of our bosses who caved to those billionaires. Today, unions in Colorado have broken the suffocating silence forced upon us 90 years ago when the Colorado Labor Peace Act tried to bury our power as workers, criminalizing union power in the public sector and handcuffing unions in the private sector. And let me be even clearer. There is no fucking labor peace, and there will be no fucking labor peace tomorrow. Not while immigrant activists are arrested, not while union leaders are jailed, not while our wages are stolen, not while our rights are stripped away. And when they criminalize our comrades, when they cage our children, when they crush our rights, I want everyone on this call to know we will not be fearful. We will not cower. We will not crumble. We will rise. We will rage. We will rebuild a world where no human being is illegal and no worker is disposable. And I know I can't be the only one who's feeling these whispers of revolution around us. I can feel it in the campuses. I can feel it in our workplaces. I can feel it in this Zoom meeting, and I could definitely feel it on those marble steps on May 1st. Who else can feel it? Yeah, I'm seeing those emojis come through. Ladies, brothers, they, thems, I think we have a workers' revolution in our hands. Students and workers organizing side by side, uniting workers across the public sector and across the private sector. And on May 1st, 2028, I want every union member, every community leader on this call to mark your calendar. On May 1st, we are coming for everything in a union for all. Unions, workers, community leaders will stand in solidarity, and together we will shut it down. And I'll pass it back to Grace.
Yes, Jade, you've been getting so much love in the chat. Let's throw it up for our comrade in Colorado. Come for one of us, face all of us. That's our trans and queer siblings, that's workers, that's immigrants. We are uniting across all of those lines where they're trying to divide us, and give them bread and give them burritos and paletas too, right? There's nothing too good for the working class. Thank you so much, Jade. All right, y'all, let's keep the love coming. We have another amazing speaker coming at us from Strong Economy for All Coalition, Charles Kahn, their deputy director. Charles, tell us what was going on in New York City. Do we got Charles on the call? I can talk about what was going on in New York City. It was beautiful. All right. Maybe
I'm
no
here,
Charles.
but I can't turn on my video.
Great, Charles. You can start us off, and we'll get our tech team working on getting video for you.
Thanks. Hey, everyone. Charles Kahn coming to you from Brooklyn. Sakib asked me to join to tell everyone that New York had the best Mayday, and so that's what I'm here for. Just kidding. But in New York, we had a historic Mayday, and we took it a step further, and we actually designed a week of action where we pulled off 3 huge actions that targeted the billionaires, that uplifted the voices of regular folks and workers, and that moved us in the direction of more unity and more strength together. And so for Mayday, we turned out 15,000 folks across New York City. And what was the best thing is sometimes in New York, similar to what my sister from Philadelphia was saying, sometimes the immigrant movement does something on May Day and the labor movement does their own thing on May Day and other groups their own thing. But it was the last May Day that I can remember where all of the groups from big to small, from all of the different issues were able to unite and bring our messages together and bring our strength together. And not only were we heard, but we were felt. And so the May Day action was amazing. We were expecting 10,000. We eclipsed 15,000. And so we are feeling the momentum building. We are feeling the energy. And then we followed that up with a march against the techno-fascists that Dave and Sakib were talking about on Saturday. We started with making sure that Elon and Tesla were feeling the pressure. And then we marched over to Palantir to make sure Peter Thiel was feeling the pressure. And then we marched over to Jeff Bezos's penthouse with Amazon workers to make sure that they're feeling the pressure as well. And then last night, we sort of brought it all home, and we were a little bit of party crashers, right? And we showed up to the Manhattan Institute gala. If you're not familiar with the Manhattan Institute, they are like the little brother to the Heritage Foundation, and they create a lot of the policy books that right-wing extremists use to sort of tear down the power of workers and to take away people's rights. And we were expecting maybe 50 folks, but we ended up having over 200 folks. And we got articles and media galore. And, you know, if you're seeing a trend happening here, every time we're putting actions together, we're bringing in more and more people. We are eclipsing our numbers every time. And we're really excited about what's to come. We know we're in a fight for our lives, a fight for the life and the soul of this country. But we're building and we're getting stronger. And that's all we can do. And we're feeling amazing about it. We're looking forward to planning more and more actions over the course of the next weeks and over the course of the summer. And again, the most exciting part to me is seeing all of the different factions and parts of the New York movement come together. There are many times where we've been apart, but this is a moment where we are stronger than ever. We are more unified than ever. We are collaborating in new ways. We are innovating in new ways. And I'm excited. And I'm excited to be joining others across the country that are targeting billionaires, that are making sure that the funders and the puppeteers of what's going on in our country are not getting away scot-free. So thanks you for joining. I look forward to seeing y'all in the streets. And I'll pass it back to Grace.
Thanks, Charles. Got to throw down for your hometown while you're on the call. And you can rep where you're from, have a little healthy competition across the country, and still stand in solidarity, y'all. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, New York, for showing out. I was there. It was a really beautiful, powerful day. All right, y'all, we have just a few more speakers. We're repping different sectors. We're coming from different parts of the country. We're going to hear from Michael Avant from AFSCME 3299. What was going on Mayday for y'all? Give us a little report back.
Evening, y'all. You know what? I can't. My video is not working as well either. Oh, there we go. Bingo. Okay. Okay, there we go. Good evening, everyone. Woo! My name is Michael Vam, the president of AFSCME 3299. We represent the backbone of the university from every corner from the Golden State. But this May Day, I can say, we shut it down, right? Over 60,000 workers from Sacramento to San Diego walked off the job. But we wasn't alone, right? We had our siblings from Upton that stood with us, and together we struck the #1 public institution in the world, and we sent them a message. And the message was simple: enough is enough. It's enough. And we cannot keep living like this. Every year, you see top brass and their billionaires' friends dig deeper and deeper in their pockets, while the life of working people gets harder. It's just not about food on the table, siblings. Not anymore. It's about whether our members can keep a roof over their heads, right? Let me share with you a short story about one of our members, DeSandre. He's a senior custodian. He works at UCLA, works about 60 hours, but he lives in a homeless shelter, right? But he works for one of the wealthiest institutions in the world, right? And he still lost custody of his children because he can't afford housing, right? And it's not because he doesn't work hard, it's because the rent is too damn high, right? And that's why on our bargaining table for the bargaining demands, we are demanding real housing support for workers like DeSandre and so many others that are edging in these crises, right? But guess what? Here's the kicker. This is gonna really, whew. UC already they have a program already with housing, right? But it's not for workers like DeSandre or just workers that's really run UC. It's for the chancellors, right? The folks that are making over $200,000 a year, right? In fact, The UC handed out $1 billion in free low interest home loans last year, but not for those in need, for those who are already living large, right? This is just wrong, siblings. It's just wrong. But guess what? We're not the victims here. We are the engine of the institution, because we run UC, right? And we have a saying at 3299. Say, who really runs UC is we run UC, right? The power of labor it's with other labor unions. With the unity, we have so much power, right? And we refuse to accept anything less than dignity and justice, right? Just because we're not asking anymore. We're done asking. We are done. We are done. We are done. We are demanding, and we won't stop till every UC worker can live with stability and respect and a hope for a future, because we are the future. We run UC. Thank you. Pass it back to my sibling.
Thank you, Michael. Hell yeah, y'all do. Y'all run UC. Workers run everything, y'all. We take that away. They got nothing. They got nothing on us. All right, everyone. We're going to close it out. I got to say, I'm from the South. We're going to close it out with somebody from the dirty South. The South has something to say. We're going to hear from Aisha Francis from down in Raleigh, who is repping Union of Southern Service Workers.
Hello, hello, hello. Mayday, Mayday. Red alert, red alert. We got a president who's a felon and he's a jerk. We're done. However, Mayday, and I'm from Durham, North Carolina, but Durham, Raleigh, we're all connected. Mayday here in the South was amazing, guys. When I say amazing, we had thousands of people with us. And just to see that amount of people just come out in droves, it lets me know that there's been an awakening in the South. The South is no longer looking at union as a dirty word, because that's what they used to look at it as. But what I know is there's a half a handful of billionaires in the world, and we're growing every day, and they're not. There's power in numbers. We got the numbers, so therefore we have the power. What I know is last year, Mayday, it was just a little spark in the South. This year, Mayday, that spark turned into a whole flame. And when I say a flame, it was a beautiful flame. What I know is right now, guys, we have to unite like never before. As in the saying of Wesley Snipes in the movie New Jack City, they running a strange program, y'all. But our plan is to stick to the plan, not deter, not back down, not let them see any fear in us. Our plan is to change their plan, which is exactly what we're going to do. However, just to see all the organizations out all together, it's a feeling that is indescribable. It's so indescribable. I've been a part of USSW for the past 5 years now. I'm a healthcare worker. I work in a facility, an assisted living facility, where this whole Medicaid thing is actually a threat to my job, because people that live in the facility, some of them use Medicaid, some of them that can't afford to pay out of pocket to live in these expensive places where they're charging the elderly $6,000 and $7,000 a month and going up on their rent every year as if it's just a regular, living situation. However, my job is threatened because if these people who use Medicaid to pay for their place to live, if they can't afford it, then they have to move out. The lower our census, the less workers they need. We will not let this go, and we will not let this go and not let this happen. My ancestors, we're fighting a hard fight, but this fight has been fought way too many times. My ancestors fought this fight. Your ancestors fought this fight, and we will not let their work go in vain at all. When I tell you Mayday was such a beautiful thing here in the South, just across the South, where we have a chapter in Atlanta, we have a chapter in South Carolina, and thousands of people in these states that we have chapters in turned out. There were so many people that were interested in what we were doing. I went to go use the restroom in one of the restaurants, and the lady was like, "What's going on?" She never heard of Mayday. And when I explained it to her, it was just such an awakening for her. Even one of the officers that were out there um, gave us the thumbs up, which I feel like if he was off duty, he would probably be out there with us. But what I know is that Mayday is not just a moment, it's a movement. And we have to continue to keep moving with this movement. We can't back down. We can't give them any type of, momentum. You know what I mean? We have to stand united. We have to organize like organizing has never been done before. We have to unionize like unionizing has never been done before. These people think that they're going to come in here and take away things that people have fought and died for. I mean, Medicaid has been lost since what, 1965? Here we are, 59, 60 years later, and they think they're just going to take it away from us and we're just going to sit down and let them take it. No, not at all. What I know is we are growing, steadily growing. Show me thousands in any state or any city across the world, across the country. Show me anywhere where there are thousands and thousands of billionaires. Can't do it. But there are thousands and thousands of us, which means what? Power in numbers. We got it. We run this. We run this world. This country was built on the backs of workers. So how dare we, or how dare they think that we are going to sit by and let them run this country like a bad business? They want to run this country as if we're commodities to be bought and sold. We are not. We are human beings with human rights, with human lives and human things to do. And we will continue to do exactly what is humanly in us, as they want to make us, as they want to be as inhumane and undignified. We're going to continue to fight our dignified fight, because their money can buy a lot of things, but their money cannot buy our dignity. And on that note, I'll pass it back.
Thank you, Miss Aisha. This is not a moment. This is a movement. We are going to be in this for the long haul together. We are in this for life. And you know what, y'all? We are the lucky ones. I had a friend that said that to me recently. We're the lucky ones. We get movement. We get to be a part of this powerful, transformative experience together. And it's the privilege of a lifetime for us to do it. All right, y'all. We're coming to the end of this call. I want you to type a yes in the chat if you have been inspired, if you have been moved, if you have been fired up by any of our incredible speakers tonight. Yes, yes, yes. We are 2,000 people strong closing out the call tonight, y'all. And if you have been moved, there are so many ways that you can plug in. We've been talking about them throughout the call, and I'm going to tell you one more time. And I'll also say you'll be getting these calls to action and all the resources via email later. And handily enough, you can just go to maydaystrong.org to get all of these calls to action that are conveniently in the chat and up here on this slide. All right. Have you ever been in a protest or looked at an organizer and been like, dang, I wish I knew how to do that, but I don't really know how? Organizing 101 training that's for you. The deadline to sign up is May 26th, and then the training starts on the 31st. So you can smash that button, that bit.ly there to sign up. We've got open, organized power in numbers, 10 million strong campaign, workers over billionaires. You can sign up at the link there. Or if you're like, I prefer to text, you can text WOB to 58910 to help them and help us reach 10 million workers in the Sun Belt. We've got the Billionaire Power Grabs 101 webinar. Going to learn about our opponents and how we fight back. There's direct action trainings to stop the billionaire takeover in July. If you're like, I want to show up in a direct action, but I don't know how, start there. We've got hands off our schools organizing calls for all of our teachers, students, allies, everybody who loves them on Wednesdays. Smash that button in the chat. And then last but not least, no kings. There are no kings here. Schoolhouse Rock taught us. We're showing up at nokings.org or smashing it in the chat. Y'all, this has been such a powerful evening. Thank you so much. Your time is precious, and we're going to keep giving it to each other. We're going to keep giving it to this movement, not this moment, to this whole movement. May Day the rest of the year. It's been so good to see y'all tonight. We're going to see you out in the streets for all the years to come. We're going to close out our call with some more highlights of what happened across the country.
Yeah, hey, Terrell and Tanya. I think it's fair to say right now that about thousands of demonstrators are gathered here at Union Park right now on this May Day, speaking out on a number of issues from immigration rights to the Israel-Hamas war and so much more. So here's the plan. They're going to be marching from where we are right now on the near west side to Grant Park. That's about a 2.5-mile march, and that is where the rally will continue a little bit later this afternoon. Now let's break down what they're going to be doing. So an interfaith service wrapped up a little bit earlier this morning. Faith leaders from different religions came together on a stage to call out racism and the Trump administration's immigration crackdown. There are people from different immigrant advocacy groups sang, chanted, and prayed for people who are affected by this administration. We spoke with someone from the Illinois Coalition for Immigrant and Refugee Rights who say they want people to walk away from today's rally with a renewed sense of purpose in this collective call to action.
This historic day for workers' rights wouldn't even exist without the contributions of immigrants. And we want to make sure that we are highlighting the contributions of immigrants on this important day.
So hundreds gathered at this morning's interfaith service, also held up signs with butterflies and others that call out ICE and the deportation of those in immigrant communities. Now back here live at Union Park right now. Again, all of these demonstrators, thousands of them, will be marching to Grant Park, like I said, about 2.5 miles away at around noon. The entire rally itself is expected to wrap up at around 4 o'clock this afternoon. Yeah, hey.
20 minutes of nonstop news begins with a workers' rally and march that is causing traffic trouble as we head into the evening rush. This is a live look from City Hall where Senator Bernie Sanders is holding a rally with hundreds of people.
Several busy streets in the area have already been closed and more are expected once these workers begin a march through the city. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us for NBC 10 News at 4. I'm Tracy Davidson.
I'm Jacqueline London. As this rally gets underway and these workers get ready to march, we will be following the impact on traffic all across Center City. Right now, though, we do want to check in with NBC 10's Lauren Meggs. She is live at City Hall where Senator Sanders is getting ready to speak. She joins us now with more. Lauren.
Well, Jacqueline and Tracy, this rally is scheduled to start at 4, so we're waiting at this point for Senator Sanders to start his address to the crowd here. This rally, this is post-2024, but also pre-2026, looking to lay the groundwork for the midterm elections. Let me tell you where we are right now. We are just off the intersection of Broad and JFK. That intersection completely filled with people at this point. The streets are shut down there. And this crowd, this is a mix of union members. AFL-CIO has people here. Unite Here has people here as well, and also just people showing up to hear from Senator Sanders and hear his message. Senator Sanders has been having rallies like this all across the country. Here at this one, I spoke just minutes ago to a hotel worker here in Philadelphia about what he hopes they can do.
I think that rallies like this can absolutely show solidarity, that we're willing to stand up for what we believe in. We're willing to stand up and show that this is the right thing, this is the right cause.
All right, y'all. Thank you so much for being here tonight. We kind of cut you off at a cliffhanger there. If you want to know what Bernie said, we will send these video clips. They'll be on maydaystrong.org. We're a little bit over our time, but you know, it's hard to cut off a party when it's going really well, right? Again, thank you all so much for being here tonight. We're so grateful. So powerful to be together. Bring that music back, Maestro. Let's roll it out. Have a great night.
Okay.
Just the beginning. See y'all out there.
No music.
Stronger together.
No music. All right. So one of the most productive things that we just found out on that entire call is that their next day of action is going to be June 14th. They've already got a website up for it. And Chad, you're about to get a dressing down, because Chad, you're relatively new to the channel. I know you haven't been around that long. We haven't beat the conservative bullshit talking points out of you yet, but I'm about to start beating the conservative bullshit talking points out of you. Chad was mocking them the entire time, making fun of them. They don't have jobs. We're the only ones with jobs. They must all be laid off from their jobs. Literally what he's saying there. The only reason they're protesting is they're laid off from their jobs. Do you know how stupid that is? You just sat on a call that was organized by union after union after union after union after union. What do you need to be in a union, Chad? You need a job. If you do not have a job, then you are probably not in a union. So the idea that no one who participated in the over 1,000 events last week that literally shut down the middle of Philadelphia, that they had footage from all the teachers in Chicago walked off the job after they used 500 students to create all their flyers and posters. Do the teachers have jobs? I think the teachers had jobs because they're teachers and they got the students to create their posters. In the state of California, there were massive protests up and down the state across the entire publicly funded university system where they all walked off the job at the publicly funded university system. That was organized through this. So, while I appreciate that some conservatives love coming in here and doing their conservative talking points, it gets a little tiring when I see the left organizing stuff like this all the time. And when I go on Twitter, not only are conservatives never doing things like this, they're going, who's paying them? They don't have jobs. Who's paying them? They don't have jobs. Did anyone talk about payment on this call? We have watched weeks of these calls now. For people who are seeing this for the first time, we have watched weeks of these calls. Has anyone talked about payment at all on these calls? They never talk about getting paid. They never offer any sort of payment. This is 100% volunteer. Anyone who says that all these people are getting paid, they're paid protesters, they're liars. Because if they were getting paid, I promise you, I promise you, if there was actually money available for these people to get paid, they would be talking about it on their organizing call. They're not doing it because they're paid protesters who don't have jobs. They're not doing it for that reason. They're doing it because they believe in this. They're doing this because this is their identity. They're doing this because they are dedicated to what they want to do. They are dedicated to the vision they have for the world, and they are willing to do whatever it takes, and that includes organizing regular protests. They're telling us this is going on all summer. They're being very, 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 very clear. The protests are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. We're starting to see Chaz after Chaz after Chaz after Chaz show up at the universities. The Columbia students just took over another fucking building the other day, and someone asked about Trantifa. I'm going to give Andy Ngo a good dressing down. The fact that Andy Ngo is calling something Trantifa, making people believe that Trantifa is a real thing, that's a term that Andy Ngo made up that is incredibly misleading to people who don't understand what's going on. Those are queer Marxists. They're anarcho-communists. They're Antifa. All Antifa are queer. So making it out to be like there's this special little trans Antifa. No. That is another bullshit conservative talking point. And I'm really upset about Andy for doing that because he knows better. He knows better. But Andy also likes to play in the conservative bullshit game. So I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I think his coverage is really good. He covers stories no one else. I'm not shitting on his news coverage as a journalist, but that was a really shitty branding idea if you actually want people to know what's going on. The reason I bring that up is this is an entirely decentralized movement. They talked about that on the call. What that means is you have thousands of these groups organizing nationwide. Now, are they directly affiliated? No. You have Antifa, you have unions, you have the Democratic Socialists, you have the People in Liberation Socialists, you have the Free Palestine people, you have the Queer Marxist people. You've got all these different groups. They're not officially connected. But they work together. They organize together. They're in solidarity together. That's why they keep saying solidarity, 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 solidarity. It's not like they talk to each other and they communicate and they play nicely with each other. So I don't think that conservatives have any effing idea what they're about to get hit in the face with, because this is only going to get bigger. And I understand that people like to joke around in the chat, and joking around is fine to a certain extent. But when the joking around comes at the cost of people understanding that this is a serious problem, that's when I start to have an issue with it. Because listen, you can joke around in the chat, but don't diminish what is going on. Don't make people think this is all fake. This is all a psyop. They just don't have jobs. They're just all paid protesters. Don't do that. Because when you do that, you make people think this isn't real. And when people think something isn't real, they dismiss it and ignore it. They said on this call, Fox News didn't cover any of this. Fox News didn't cover any of this. There are so many conservatives who only get their news from Fox News, or only get their news from the Daily Wire, or only get their news from their favorite influencers, none of whom are talking about this. And if they are talking about it, they're not talking about it in a way that is hinged into reality. And so this is why the right is completely unprepared for what they're about to get hit in the face with. We know what they're about to get hit in the face with. We've been watching these people for weeks. We know what's going on. We know what they're saying. We know what they're doing. When they show up, we are not remotely surprised. Conservatives are surprised every time. And then conservatives get surprised and they go, they don't have jobs. They're paid protesters. They don't. So what happens is the left just keeps building, and the left just keeps gaining momentum, and the right goes, they don't have jobs. They're paid protesters. They don't have jobs. They're paid protesters. So the right keeps ignoring it. And then all of a sudden you've got an overwhelming problem when there are riots every weekend and fires burning down cities. You wonder why that happened? Because you ignored the problem when it was building. Because you dismissed it. Because you made fun of it. So we take this seriously on this channel. We can have fun and we can joke and we can play around, and I don't mind doing any of that. But I really want everyone to understand, this is not a game. This is real life. These people are winning. These people are kicking our asses because people on our side don't take this seriously. And maybe we can't do anything about it, and maybe we're just one little corner of the internet that happens to be really interested in this stuff. But in this community, we take this seriously. There is a difference between making fun of them and dismissing them. And when you cross the line into dismissing them, that's when you start to drag everyone else out with you, and that's when the problem continues to get ignored and no one talks about it. So please, this is why the right is losing. Even when they think they're winning, they're like, we got Donald Trump elected. We don't have to do anything. Trump's going to solve the problem. They don't have jobs. They're mentally ill. They think Trump's going to save them from this. Let's watch what happens on June 14th. I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see when they go and disrupt Trump's military parade, which, by the way, how many conservatives are going to go to DC for Trump's military parade? You think Antifa's not going to show up? You think Antifa's not going to get violent on the day of Trump's military parade? And by the way, I love how much the military parade riles them up. But can we acknowledge this is going to end very, very badly? The idea that they put out on this call, we're not going anywhere near the military protest. Please. Do you think Trump being elected has changed your prediction for the timeline of the revolution? No, because there's just so my prediction for the timeline of the revolution, it's 10 to 15 years. I think they're going to try to overthrow the federal government, and I think they're going to win. No, I actually factored Trump into my prediction because I think it's only going to speed up. So no, I think it's still going to play out exactly that way. So they gave us a whole bunch of webinars to sign up for tonight. Obviously, we're going to still do that. I think I'm just going to stream these calls publicly from now on. They obviously know I'm streaming. I mean, Andy No kind of outed me when he shared the Chicago Teachers Union VP clip the other day, and they gave us a shout out. Can we all just appreciate for a moment? They gave us a shout out on their webinar, so they know we're watching them anyway. So why don't I just stream these publicly from now on? I'm just going to stream all their fucking webinars publicly. And because they kind of want us to, they gave us permission. I mean, I'm gonna make that a clip just in case they complain about it. Be like, you literally told me I could on your webinar. So you want me to stream all your shit publicly? You don't want me to hide it behind a paywall? Fine. I know what's going on. You know what's going on. Everyone's cool with it. We get to hear your plans. You get to feel like you're reaching more of an audience. We get to see the crazy shit you're saying and make fun of you, but not dismiss you. Those are two different things. Yeah, fine. I'll stream all this stuff live from now on. So we're going to go ahead and get all that stuff signed up for those webinars. And we're going to stream all their shit. And hopefully people start to pay attention. And hopefully people start to take this a little bit more seriously than they're taking it. I kind of doubt that they're going to. But hey, here we are. Hey, Steve-O, good to see you. Hey, Karlyn, just finished your fairy tale and debunking the manifesto. I really enjoyed the fairy tale. It was such a good story. Hey, well, thank you for telling me that. Actually, now that I have a recommendation on the screen, guys, do you want to join me for a book club where you guys can read the fairy tale too? I wrote a book called The Communist Manifesto, a Revolutionary Fairy Tale. You can currently find this book on Amazon, and I'm holding a book club coming up on the 21st, so you got plenty of time to read the book. The book is a pretty quick read. There it is. I'm going to put this in the chat. And this is my dystopian fairy tale about the communist revolution. And basically, it is actually inspired by the communist revolution. There's a lot of stuff that's inspired by true events, but it is a fairy tale. It is a story. It follows the story of a mother who gets sucked into the communist revolution because she just wants to provide for her daughter because her daughter's sick and she doesn't have money for medicine. And so she gets sucked in by the communists and joins the revolution, and they overthrow the monarchy or the bourgeois, and they install their dictatorship of the proletariat. And then we see what happens after that. And based on the fact that there is a murder child on the cover of the book, that should give you a little clue about how well that communist revolution goes. But really, I wanted to humanize the communist revolution. I wanted to show people why people get pulled into left-wing movements. I wanted to give a story that I think can be used to teach younger people about the dangers of communism. This book is age appropriate for people, I think, starting in middle school. There's no sex in it. There's nothing lewd. There's nothing like that. I don't even think there's any swearing in it or anything like that. So it is an accessible book for everyone. And we are holding a book club on May 21st at 8 p.m. Eastern time. This is a private thing. This is not a public thing. This is a private thing. So we're going to do like a Zoom call, and we're going to have our book club and we're going to talk about it. So go pick up your copy on Amazon, paperback and Kindle. There is not an audio version because I haven't recorded one. But I'm sure there's an app that can help you with that if that's the type of thing that you need. And I hope you guys love it. I really enjoyed writing the book. This is one of the best things I've ever written. I'm very, very proud of this book. And thank you, Steve-O, for the super chat. And thank you for the endorsement. I appreciate it. And guys, if you have read the book and you enjoyed it, please make sure you leave a review on Amazon. I would really, really appreciate that. Tomorrow we have Spy Stream again. So you can always head over to Decode the Left. That's decodetheleft.com. In the events calendar, I do actually have an events calendar up where I'm posting the Spy Stream schedule so people can plan. We have a Spy Stream tomorrow that is going to be awesome. I think it's going to be so cringe. And that's going to be around 2:30. We're going to start. So if you are a supporter on my Substack, my Locals, my Patreon, a YouTube channel member, or a Twitter subscriber, you will be able to join us for Spy Stream tomorrow from a major F-off major university that I guarantee all of you have heard of. And we're going to be watching people talk about gender. And it's going to be awesome. We got another Spy Stream coming up on Monday that I haven't talked about yet. We're going to have more stuff coming up next week, but I've also got webinars coming up. You guys can find out more about that over on decodetheleft.com. And of course, if you want to support the work I'm doing and keep me in business, the very best way to do that is by doing a monthly or annual gift on my Substack. I am 100% funded by people just like you who are as concerned about the left as I am, and who want to make sure that we know as much as we can about it, because I do not believe that we can defeat an enemy that we do not understand. And I do not believe enough people understand the left in order to defeat them. People think they understand the left. They have no idea. They have no idea because of how many times their influencers have lied to them. And so I'm doing the best I can to put out primary source content that is hinged into reality. You never have to take my word for it. I'll never say, pinky swear, trust me, bro. I will always show you primary source evidence so that you can watch the video, you can read the book, you can read the document, you can listen to the recording, and you can decide for yourself what you think about it and what it all means. And with that, I need to go eat something, man, because I don't even think I've eaten today. It's one of those days. It's one of those days. No mom plans for the weekend. No mom plans for the weekend. Not any shade to moms or my mother in particular, but my mother lives her life and that's the way it is. And whatever. My mother just texted me today, actually. I need to text her back. But no plans. My plan is to work. That's my plan. I work every day, even when I don't stream for you guys. All right. All right, guys, that's all I have. I'm going to go get some food. I think Victor went grocery shopping, so that should help. I will be back tomorrow for Spy Stream, and then we'll do happy hour at 5 p.m. Take care, guys. Have a good one. We'll see you soon.
How are you feeling? How long have you been here? 3 months, May 17th. And what brought you here? That's difficult to eventually resulted in your being here in the hospital. That's difficult to answer.